Okay, I don't know what, if anything, y'all missed, but the thing cut off because it got hot. Then I started working. A piece of obsidian while I was waiting on y'all to cool off. So now, apparently, y'all are cooled off and I can go back to mangling this little piece of Georgetown. That really has been working kind of good considering what I started with. Maybe an accident or three, but when you're working with indirect down this small, you definitely don't have a lot of room to mess up. And you should be where you can see well, which I kind of never am. I don't see well and I don't hear well, so when I'm not, videoing on camera, I kind of taste the rock to see how it's coming along. I said that to taunt the people that actually do taste rocks, because I figure they all got fairly hot livers. Oh no. This is kind of doing something. Fluted it. Take a flake on the end, it's a flute, right? So everybody's fluting all the time. It's just sometimes it's a big deal and most of the time it ain't. No, I realize I don't get to make the definitions up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Another bean knife. I make an awful lot of bean knives, it seems. What was that? I think it was a piece of antler. No. Oh, It was a flaker. When I hear stuff fall, if it doesn't shatter, I don't overly worry. It's gonna be a long flute. Okay. Here you go, look. See? I fluted it all the way down to there. That's almost half the length of this entire point. So this is like, in fact, if that had gone a little bit further, it'd be a Folsom. I think the rule is 33.33% of the length of the point. If it's fluted that far, it's Folsom. And you're like, where did that come from? Well, it came from me just now. And the reason that I chose what I chose is because since it's a math issue, you can't just debate it and talk about all the little subtleties of it, because math ain't got no little subtleties. Math is either right or wrong. And if I put this up on, if I go like this and put this up on top of my head, you know what that is? That's higher math. So that's like really, really right. So if you ever mess up a point, stick it on your head. And then it's not messed up anymore until you take it down. Leave it up there and you're good. It'll be an annoyance at first, but after word gets around enough, then people won't be asking you why you got a point on your head at nap ends. So just everybody will know. Look, he's doing higher math. Must have messed up a point. Dang, why did that do that? When you hit on easy peasy Georgetown and the flake don't go, you're like, what the heck? Georgetown, you get a good piece of Georgetown, you just put it on your pillow at night and wake up in the morning, there's like a big old long Jason tang knife under your pillow. It's that, I mean, it naps itself. Oh dang, I was just concentrating on making this. What did I say? Well, couldn't have been nothing bad. So yeah, buddy. This here bean knife is taking shape. Might have to flute it again. I fluted early, but I haven't yet fluted often. Now it's becoming a narrow bean knife. There's a bunch of different bean knives I can make. It's becoming a raggedy edge bean knife. Oh yeah, I mean, you know, this is special. But I need to do a bunch of work on it. Because there's some places on it where it's an imperfect variety edge bean knife. A lot of rolled edges in bean knife too. Get a bean knife like this and have trouble deciding whether to hit it or push on it. Because there's arguments that can be made for both. Dang, there's a little bitty round fossil thing in that. Look, there's a little thing. It's a fossil thing. Technical term. And yes, FC can use the term FT if he wishes. I'm doing some weird stuff here. This might end up having to be a midland instead of a Folsom. I think the Folsom people, when they got carried away talking and kept thinning instead of prepping for fluting and stuff, they ended up making midlands. They didn't know they were making midlands because midland itself didn't exist yet, but still. And I still need to make an absolute killer midland. Killer one. I need to make a killer one. I don't know what I'm waiting on because, I mean, you know, it's not like it's going to get easier the older I get. Maybe I'll just try and make this into a killer midland. And y'all can watch. And then you can be my witnesses. Because people will be saying, that's too killer. You didn't make that. You found it. I'll be like, no, really, I made it. I mean, it's on YouTube and everything. And I got all this list. Here's a list of witnesses. Y'all send, when y'all send the freeze cracked flake virtual bucks in the cup holders on your computers, if you would, go ahead and send a list of your contact information so that it can be used to verify any and everything requiring verification. And then if anybody ever asks you why on earth you verified something for me, you know what you say? This will get them every time. You know what you say? You say, I was under his influence. Dang. I levered on that like a big dog. I levered on it. It's getting thin. Instead of fluting it, you know what I'm gonna do? Tie a tail on it and make it a kite. Dang. Wow, that was a lot of work for a little flake. All I'm really trying to do is straighten these edges up and get the weird rolls and dips and weirds out of them so that I can run another 6 or 8 sets of thinning with indirect until I get this thing whipped in shape. So it can be the finest midland bean knife ever made. Now, you might not think that this is particularly good, but if you think about it compared to the flake I started with, it's way more under control. Where you have problems when you're doing stuff like this is how to hold it. It just gets difficult to hold. And people say to me, freeze, freeze. Yes, yes. how do you hold a midland preform when you're flaking it? My answer to them is, well, are you over bare concrete or are you on a tarp? No, over bare concrete. We want to flake like you. I say, well, you hold it carefully. And then I walk away. They're sitting there with their mouths open, thinking about the profound nature of what they just heard. If I had wings, no one would ask me, should I fly? The bird sings, no one asks why. Be right back.